What is going on, Movie Meals? Movie Meals. The actors have been paid. I love it. I love it. I love it. We have been making videos back to back to back, guys. If you want to get a hoodie like this, help us get to 2,000 subs. We're going to give a hoodie out to a random fan who comments, likes, has been supporting us when we cross that 2,000 mark. We're really close. If you guys really help us out, we can really hit it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Thank you, Movie Meal patrons, Kimberly, Karen. Go do all that stuff. Go get some merch on your own. Keep helping us out. Get some free stuff. My cat's losing it over here. We're here to talk Priscilla. This will be a quick movie review. First movie kind of back for Kyle and I. First movie review like this solo for a while, which is nice.
Yeah.
We got Loki coming as well as the podcast back. So help us out with all that good stuff. Kyle, what were your positives of Priscilla?
Priscilla is excellent. I loved this movie. I loved, first and foremost, the directing done by Sofia Coppola, because I think she did a terrific job at telling Priscilla's life in the vacuum of time that she was married to Elvis, and doing a very good job at illustrating Priscilla's point of view of her situation, of her really specific situation, involving like being married to a star such as Elvis, but at the same time, a very unfortunately common story about a woman's independence and power being taken away from them. And I thought that was beautifully done by her, being Sofia Coppola, to showcase aesthetically the transition of this young teenage girl, of this teenage fantasy dream almost, being descended into cold adulthood, that Priscilla unfortunately had to go through between her teenage years and her early 20s or so. And when it comes to Priscilla the person, it is a amazing performance by Kaylee Spaney. She does really great job at nuanced acting, in that you can see the multiple emotions going through her head and the confusion that she's feeling throughout this relationship of like Elvis the person being like, is he in love with me, is he not, and then slowly just trying to find a way to figure out how to almost get out of it, or to even find a chance to like breathe practically, with the suffocating nature when it came to living with Elvis. And at the same time, between her and the directing, it just showed a great perspective of loneliness and isolation, especially from a very specific situation, as I mentioned earlier. On top of that, I think Jacob Elordi was really good as Elvis, and he really did have a tall order to do when it comes to this performance, in that it wasn't like what Austin Butler did when not only impersonating Elvis, but also showcasing him in the rock star, movie star lifestyle that everyone loves about him. He does a great job at the balancing act between the terrible things about Elvis, the things that were kept under the rug behind the scenes in the closed doors of his estate, while showing the weight of his stardom and how that led to him not handling his emotions well at all. But at the same time, a careful act of kind of seeing what Priscilla saw in Elvis the person. And again, Sofia Coppola, that's a hard task to do, and like that balancing act. And I think that probably was in the book. It probably was explained well, because this is also based on the book that Priscilla wrote, talking about her life in these events. So I'm sure that they pulled from that, and Priscilla probably talked about both aspects of like, I did love him and I love these things about him, but I also had these tragic things happen to me when I was married to him. So I just thought it was a very beautiful and carefully balanced showcase of all of those elements into a very tragic, rocky, threatening situation for Priscilla the person. Just very well done by those three, as well as the production design, music, costume design. Just really well done aesthetically all around. Those are my positives.
Yeah, I like the movie a lot. I don't think I like it as much as you, but I do really like it. I do think Celie was fantastic as Priscilla, and I think she will be an Oscar nominated. Like I think she should be considered for it. I do not think Jacob should get a nomination. And I think he was good, and he was pleasantly surprising. But if he's getting nominated for anything, it better be Saltburn. And after just seeing Saltburn and then seeing Priscilla, it made me honestly sit back and go, wow, he is so much better than they're letting him do. But I don't think that was the point, because the point is to be about Priscilla. And obviously, you're going to be compared to Austin Butler. And Austin Butler was better by a wide margin, because Austin went insane to do that. Well, Jacob's accent was really rough at the beginning of the movie, I thought. And I thought it got better, but it was really rough. At times, I could hear his English accent a little bit. I could hear everything. He is English, isn't he? I'm pretty sure I heard an English accent in there at times.
I have no idea what is.
He is English.
Oh, okay.
But I thought he was. I thought he was surprisingly good for me. I think he is a really talented actor. But he, sorry, I got lost in my train of thought here. And I think the best part is the direction of Sophia. It was nice seeing Sophia back. I feel like I haven't seen anything of hers in a long time. And I really enjoyed the movie overall. It is telling a specific perspective. Yeah. It's telling it from her perspective. It really made me hate Elvis. Even in the Austin Butler movie, I remember being like, that's really creepy. That's gross. And now you see this version of it from her, some true elements of her reenactment. Obviously, it's not a documentary, but that made it just even worse. And I was like, ugh, Elvis really was disgusting. And I don't know how any parent ever would let them do that. And they kind of show the parents being like, he's barely this age. And it's like, dude, I don't care if you're in the military. Like, just because you show up and be like, I'll have her home by 10.
Yeah.
You're 29.
You can put up an act all you want.
14. Yeah. Get out of my house. I'm going to shoot you on sight. What are you talking about? That's disgusting. I do think the ending struggled. I think the ending of the film is a little abrupt and doesn't feel as resolution as it should be. And I think is what it could be. I do think she does a great job, Celia, in her performance, and Sophia of her direction, of showing how abusive Elvis really was and how charming he could be to make you fall for him. Yeah. At times. So I appreciated those aspects of the movie. It just wasn't as much of a home run as I thought in this kind of wave of these famous women biopics we've seen over the last handful of years. Seems like every couple of years we're getting a really good one. And this is one of those, and I really appreciate that because I think there's stories that need to be told. But I know this movie's divided the family. Like, the family of Elvis isn't super happy with a lot of this stuff, but I wouldn't either. This movie makes Elvis look awful, and if he did half of if this is true, then it's horrible and disgusting, and Elvis was a terrible person. Yeah. And obviously he was very troubled, but I don't know how many drugs make you really into 14-year-old girls. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's
you have your own
else entirely.
Demons. Yeah, you have your own demon. Yeah, anyway, the movie is very good. I do recommend. I do think it's a movie you should go see. Go see it in the theater. Don't wait for it to come at home, because we didn't just pay these actors to sit at home watching these AI BS things. So, yeah. All right. Any other thoughts you got?
I think the tail end of the movie, probably the third act, it felt a little rushed. I didn't mind the abrupt ending of it, only because I viewed it
You were ready to go home?
No, just that it capped off, like, from when she first met Elvis to when she finally left Elvis. She walked out the doors of the estate, so I was okay with it ending the way that it did. I guess that's kind of a spoiler, my bad. But
well, I mean, the way it ends is empowering for her, and I do get that. It feels very much I am leaving because I have come to my senses, and I do appreciate that aspect. But I think there are other ways you can do it, and you can make it more impactful.
Yeah, and I do think the final act felt like it was rushing itself to get to the end a bit too much. I think at times it wasn't hard to tell, like, what era or what years we were in, just based off of, like, the clothing, the hairstyle, the aesthetics. But at the same time, it felt like there was a lot that would happen in one moment of time, and then suddenly there would be, like, it would feel like there's a large gap and we're at a different time now. Like, it didn't feel like there was a very big or a very clear through line of navigating throughout the years, and it just felt a bit too jumpy. But I don't know, like that could just be based on like the events that did happen in real life, could be just the pacing and how long the movie ended up being. I don't know, it just felt like something that I noticed and I didn't particularly like, but all in all, I think the movie was a big hit for me and I really, really liked it. And I do recommend people seeing it in the theater, of course.
Yeah, me too. I was going to say something. I completely lost it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well,
All right,
maybe
guys, what
next
do you
time.
think? Comment below. Let us know. Remember to like, subscribe, and... Oh, I remember what I was going to say. At one point
Hey.
in the movie, Elvis is like, yeah, the colonel, the colonel not sending me scripts or whatever. And I was like, who the heck's the colonel? And then he said it again like 20 minutes later. He's like, the colonel. And I was like, oh, my God, the colonel. That was that goofy guy that Tom Hanks played in the Austin Butler one. I was like, Tom Hanks, where is he in this movie? Where's that weird accent? Where's that weird character? Where
Tom Hanks
is
just
he?
busts down the door. Hello, everybody.
Anyway, all right, guys. Thank you, movie patrons. Help us get one of these. Help us get to 2,000. Thank you to all you do. Yeah, and as always, thanks for watching, Mom.
See you guys.